welcome back to International Scale Modeler. I'm Lee. Today we're going to do a May news show, reasonably on time as well for a change. But before we go any further, I must do this. I know it looks rehearsed, but this stuff is the nectar of gods. If you remember, I said about Estrella last month. This is Estrella Galicia. This is like the premium version of Estrella, and this stuff is liquid gold. Because it's not so gassy and it's very smooth, you can squeeze more bottles in. It's absolutely fantastic. Salud. It's 28 degrees here at the moment, and I'm sitting in the sun filming this, and it's absolutely fantastic. I'm going to melt in a minute, so we'll see how far we get along the line. But I'll quickly go through. Just going to do slightly new format to the news show. Only a little change at the beginnings. I'll do what's coming up. I'm just going to do a little news in brief. We used to do a bit of news back in the day, about a year or so ago now, when we did our news shows. But this is more just like a quick what's any new kits or upcoming stuff that's coming out soon. I've only got a couple of bits of news for this month, but we just thought we'd see how it goes, and if you like it, we can carry on. But first of all, we'll just go exactly what's going to come up on this month's news show. We've got obviously the forum update with the GBs SiGs, competitions, prizes, what SiGs are starting and finishing, where we are with them at the moment. So ultimate modding products news and news in brief. Mine and Paul's current build updates. I've got a very small one this month. Prize draw winners and the prizes for this month as well. Reviews, we've got a couple of reviews. We've got one from Paul on RP Toolz punch and die set, and you've got one from me on the TRN1 Trigger Airbrush from Iwata. Now I've done the TRN2 6-8 months ago or so, but this is the one that I actually want, the TRN1. So we'll come on to those a little bit later. But first of all, we'll quickly go to a bit of news in brief. Cheers. Right, quick news in brief. First of all, really the only real bit of main news is I've got had a communication from Great Wall Hobby recently, which we were going to stock on Ultimate Modding Products website, but we ceased to have it because of just shipping stuff and things like that, lots of silliness. But we've got a bit of news from GWH coming in this month, and that is they're releasing a new kit later on this month, or probably the next week or so I would have thought, and it's the MiG-29 SMT, this little beauty here. As you can see, it does look an absolutely fantastic kit, and I've got to say, if it's anything to go by their F-15s and the previous ones that they've brought out in the last year, then it will be absolutely fantastic. And I know Paul will definitely want to get his grubby little mitts on one. But we will be receiving one for review, so as soon as we get one, we'll let you know about it and see how good it is inside. Also, there was a funny little bit of news I saw on YouTube. Someone said goodbye to YouTube. He looks like this. He did this, that's for sure. But us at ISM would just like to wish you well and good luck. Okay, there. Right, anyway, on to Ultimate Modding product news. There is a new product to be announced in next month's news show, so you'll have to hang on to see what that is, but we have got a new product to be released next month, so fingers crossed it comes out on time. We're just in the final stages of everything at the moment, so fingers crossed you'll get to see what that is next month, and that will be in all the shops and on our website to be able to purchase and everything. Now I've got a bit of news about it's so hot. About our distributors in USA and Canada, mainly Hobby World USA and Strike Force Hobbies in Canada. We know people have put a lot of pre-orders in with them on the assuming that they're going to get their shipments in and everything. We've got to make an apology, not as UMP really, because we have had major problems with 2 freight shipping companies that have picked up our parcels, taken them, held them for 3 weeks to 4 weeks per time, and then turned around and said, oh no, we're not shipping them now because for one reason or another. Obviously the thinner and cleaner are classed as, you know, flammable and everything, so we do have a bit of problem shipping in bulk. But it turns out that we've been lied to a couple of times and everything. So all I'd say to you guys is that we've got pre-orders in with Hobby World USA and Strike Force Hobbies. They're quite happy to refund your money if you really want it, or you can hold on. The situation should be resolved within the next 5 to 7 days, pending any more lies from a new shipping company that we've used. Everything's correct, you know, all the labels are correct, all the packing's correct and everything. It's just for some unknown reason we're just having real problems getting companies to commit to getting these products abroad and everything. The good news is that the massive shipment to B&A Model World in Australia is actually en route. It's halfway through its sea journey and everything, so just let you know, you guys in Australia should be okay in about 3 weeks' time. We'd like to send it freight to Canada and USA as well, sea freight, but there's a problem. You all have to have brokers in the USA. It's all silly regulations and laws, it really is. It's just been an absolute nightmare. But anyway, to you guys who have pre-ordered, you know, if you want to hang on, this situation will change very soon anyway. So if not, you can order direct from our website anyway, so in small quantities. Right, okay, so now we're going to quickly go on to the GBs and SiGs right now. Right, okay, so first of all we've got the Homeland GB. This runs for 4 months from up until the 31st of August. The aim is simple on this one. This is going through as we speak at the moment. It's any military model of any description from any genre, so long as it was in service in your home country and with your home markings between 1950 and 2000. This one's sponsored by Models on Go. Some great prizes up for grabs on that as well, and it's pretty open. I mean, 50 years, something must have been in service in your country. Will it just be a soldier? You know, if you want to do a figure or something like that, then that should be fine. We've also got Kiwi Gav's Star Wars SiG. That went from May the 4th and that goes on to the 18th of December to coincide with the launch of Star Wars 7. Sponsored by UMP, and prizes for that are 30, 20 and £10 gift vouchers to spend on whatever you like at UMP. We've also got the main ISM SiG in the Navy SiG. That runs from the 1st of April and that finishes on the 30th of June, so we've got 3 weeks left on that one. That's any naval aircraft from any period. If you've got a build going on that, you've got 3 weeks left to finish it, so get on and get over the finish line. It'd be nice to see some more finishes on that. Again, some fantastic builds going on in there. That was sponsored by S&M stuff. We've got SiG. We've also got another SiG running this month. This is a non-ISM SiG run by one of our members, Nigel Wales, and that's a Mozzie Bite SiG for mosquitoes of all types. I think that's running for 3 months, 4 months as well. And you basically can join in with any version or any type of mosquito that's ever been, I think, or some models thereof. Seems to be some nice models coming up in that, and the majority of ones are the Tammy ones because they're probably the best on the market at the moment. We've also got a new SiG starting next month, which is the I Spy SiG, and that basically goes from the 1st of July to the 30th of September. It's very simple rules on this one, the same as most of ours. The model has to be a reconnaissance vehicle of any kind that's all service or is active at any time as well. Any version of a kit must be the recon version. It must have all the marking squadrons or battalion or whatever part of the army it was assigned to. Could be any kit, any military genre from any time period, but it had to be a recon plane or boat or Jeep. You know, I know the recon Jeeps and things like that. So that's going to be interesting as well. I've actually got 2 models lined up for that, and I'm hoping that I get a couple of my builds finished in time to maybe jump in on that one, but we'll see. We've also got one thing just left to say is the Rising Sun GB reveal vid, which is about 3-4 weeks late. That will be up in the next couple of days after this show's release, so you've got that to look forward to and the winners and everything for that. So I think we're going to go over to Paul now. He's going to do a review of RP Toolz punch and die set. So over to Paul.
Hey everyone, Paul from International Scale Modeler. Welcome to another review. Today I've got a review of the RP Toolz punch and die tool set, which is from 0.5 to 2 millimeters. Now, I've not had one of these before. Something I've always wanted to get. They retail, I think it's about £72 at Hysterex. Which I think is one of the importers of RP Tools in the UK. That's a high price to pay. I managed to get this on eBay for nearly half the price of that. It was a one-off. It was somebody selling their tool they'd hardly use, hence the slightly ripped box. But after using it, it is well worth that £70 odd. It's a fantastic tool. I actually used it yesterday for the first time on the Kraz, funnily enough, which is what job me to review it. And I thought, right, okay, we'll do a review and show you guys what you get for your money, basically. So, it comes in a normal cardboard box, nothing fancy at all. Inside you get a large bag of the punches, a small weighted hammer, the die, the punch die set itself, and a small set of instructions. what do we get? Not even instructions, literally. Yeah, very slight instructions. What we'll do, we'll go on the close-up one, you can have a read of that. So, punch and die, tool designed to cut plastic, PVC, aluminium, brass or styrene circle and hole maker. So it'll cut through all those things. It's quite versatile. Made in Hungary. It's made of galvanized steel, plexi sheet and aluminium. So basically, loosen the knurled knobs. The English is terrible. Plexi sheet will be up. Set your workpiece in, tighten the knurled knobs, select the right punch tool, punch by hammer, loosen the nuts and remove your workpiece. The cutter piece goes down. Do not use thicker styrol or PVC material as the punch tool diameter. The thicker material can damage the punch tool and the die plate. Use your right diameter punch tool to the die holes. Do not over tighten the knurled knobs, which will cause damage on the plexi top sheet. Probably at the first you punch will cause a little poke coming out from the die tool. And sometimes be lubricated the end of the die tool. So yeah, a bit of bad English there, so yeah, we'll ignore that. So in the box you get a very small little hammer, which is nicely weighted, just right for using the punches. You get a bag of punches themselves, 0.5 to 2 mil, and I was going to give this a quick wipe. We get the actual die itself, so this goes from 0.5 mil all the way up to 2 mil. It's heavy, it's got a good weight to it. Perspex on top, I'm assuming it's cast, did it say cast iron? Galvanized steel and aluminium. So these are aluminium. I'm assuming the base of this is the galvanized steel. It's got a good hefty weight to it. I'm not sure how heavy it is, but it's got a good hefty weight, and it is very, very well made. Like I say, I tested it when I bought it. I tried it out properly yesterday for the first time in anger, and it performed flawlessly. So we'll get the punches out, we'll have a little look, and then we'll got a little bit of 1 mil styrene sheet, and we'll give it a whirl. So like I say, you go right down from, we can find a 0.5, there's 0.8, 1, 6, 0.5, so right from a 0.5 all the way up to a 2 mil, which you'll find to a 2. So there's the two sizes, so quite versatile sizes. They're going to do a number of jobs, and I'll show it in use in a minute actually what I can do. They're aluminium, they're very nicely made, nicely weighted. Each one is marked on top its corresponding size, that's 1.9 mil, and they line up absolutely perfectly into the holes. Like, there's no margin, there's no play in there whatsoever. They line up perfectly. So to use it, you loosen the knurled knobs, so the knurled knobs, not knurled. You pop in your styrene sheet, tighten it up, don't over tighten it like it says. I found you don't really need to tighten it up, so if you can leave it loose enough to move the sheet around, like so, as you punch one out you can move it each time, and that's how I found its use. It was a little bit easier, but what I want to do, if we're clever we can do it like so. I want to do a 0.5 and a 2 mil, so 0.5, 2 mil. So we'll grab the appropriate one, which there's 0.9. I should have kept a hold of it. There's the 2. So there's the 2 mil. So you pop it in, pop your required punch in, hold it. There you go, there's one in. So there's a 2 mil, and we can find a 0.5 mil. Really should have kept hold of it. Here it is. And again, absolutely perfect fit. There's no play in that whatsoever. It's a very, very precisely made tool. And again, because it's a smaller one, it'll go through a tad easier. Now, there's the 2 mil. And the 0.5 mil is still inside. So we get our tweezers. Here we go. So I can get that on my finger, I can show you. So there's a 0.5 mil. So if you've lost any, come on, focus, there we go. If you've lost any detail anywhere, raised rivets or anything, you can add that back in. So there's 0.5 and there's the 2 mil. As you can see if we flip it around. Perfect, absolutely perfect. So with this you can add raised detail, which I will show you right now. It involves me grabbing the cras box, which is under here. And I'll just grab the engine quickly. I should have had this out, but I didn't. So it was tough. Pop that there, just move that box out of the way. So what I did, when I built this engine, the top part of the cylinder heads here had raised detail. Now, to do the seam line that was there, if you've watched the video, remember me filling it in, I sanded them off, knowing I'd use this to replace them. So what I've done there is 2 different sizes of punch there. I can't remember exactly what it did, but there's like a 1.5mm and a 0.8mm. So I did one at the bottom and then glued one on the top, and that's give us that dome effect there. So, you know, if you were to look at that, if you weren't to look too closely, you just think it was part of the moulded on part. It's glued on with normal Tammy Extra Thin or another, you know, plastic cement. And once it's fully dry, it's as tough as plastic, so you can sand it, shape it, etc. But that's a perfect use for it, and that was the first time I used it yesterday. I actually show it being used on the cras video, which will be up in about a week. So you can see this actually being made and glued in position like so. But that's the use of it. So that's the raised part. So you can do any raised part from 2mm to 0.5mm and all the way down, 1.9876, all the way down to that. And then the other side of it is, if you want to punch out holes, then there you go. You've got a perfectly formed 2mm and a perfectly formed 0.5mm. Absolutely tiny little hole, and absolutely perfect. So there you can see its uses. It's very easy to use. It's literally a case of popping it in. Like I say, if you leave it loose enough, if we choose, we'll go for the 1.3 because it's there. If you leave it loose enough that you can still slide the styrene sheet around, I'm pretty sure it will still get the same result. Now, one thing I did notice yesterday was don't punch out too many at a time, because what they do, they collect underneath and they start getting squidged up against. So literally 2 or 3 at a time, stop, not hammer time, and away you go. Sorry about the noise of the car. It's a stonkingly hot summer's day and my workshop door is open. All the ambient noise comes in, including the birds singing, which you can probably hear. As you can see, I mean, if you're after a lot of these, it's going to be quite a boring job. But the only other way to do this is to cut styrene rod, and I've tried it to get them as flat and as perfect as you got here. Is now impossible. Now you can see that they've started to bunch up in there. There's no damage by the look of it. So that was 4. Like so. So there you go. That's it basically. So we've got 2mm, 1.3, and our little 0.5 ones vanished. It's that small, I'm not surprised. But it's that simple to make perfectly round cutouts for raised surface detail, or to make holes like so. Is that simple. It's an expensive tool and it is a luxury, I will admit that. But if it's something you're going to use a lot, if you're an armour modeler or, you know, scratch builder, I think it's well worth the money. Keep it out on eBay, you never know, you might find one cheap like I did. I really fell on my feet. I think I paid £42 posted for mine. And I even got the wire grab handle maker as well, for 15 quid extra on top. So I was very happy. But do I recommend it? If you're going to use it, definitely. It's not a must-have, it's definitely a luxury. But like I say, the only way to replicate that is to buy the long styrene rod and slice it off, and you don't get them that perfect. You never will. I know, I've tried to do it. You can get them looking not far off, but you'll never get them as good. So it's not a necessity, it's a definite luxury, but if you can afford it and you think you'll use it, I would highly recommend getting it. without a shadow of a doubt. So there you go, the RP Toolz punch and die set. Highly recommended by me, and I can see this getting a lot of use over the coming months. And there you go, it's excellent. So thanks for watching. I'll catch you around, and I'll see you on the forums.
Well, there you go. That's the RP Toolz punch and die set. I mean, it is quite. It's great for rivet counters, and it's good for if you lose raised detail, if you want to add raised details to things and stuff like that. It's not something I'd probably invest in. It's quite expensive for what it is, and I think you've got to be a good scratch builder, or you know, use that. You would use that a lot to justify purchasing it. But it's very handy nonetheless, and I do like the one that you can get a hexagonal version as well, so you can do proper bolt tops and things like that, which is really nice. But anyway, back to forum news. Obviously we've got the kit review section growing daily. I think we're near on 800 videos now of reviews for kits that people have done on YouTube. So if you do review kits or anything like that, you want to pop them on our site, then please do. It can only bring you more people to your YouTube channel. It's really looking good. It's a great section, and we're really looking to build that up even more. It'd be nice to hit 1,000 by the end of the year, that's for sure. Right, now we're going to go over to the monthly prize draw winners. As I always say every month, please, 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 if you do win a prize or anything, send us a picture of you with your prize, or if you're a bit camera shy, then just your prize and something else. Funny would be good. We can get that up on the Rose Gallery on the site as well. It's nice to see people with their prizes and everything, make sure they receive them and everything. But the two prizes this month are from E-Models. We've got the Trumpeter 1350 HMS Abercrombie monitor, this little beauty. It's a great little kit. It'd be nice, it makes a change to have a floaty thing as a prize as well, I think. And also, obviously, for second place, we've got UMP burnishing liquid in a PE placer. Right, so without further ado, let's get into the prizes. And the winner for the Trumpeter HMS Abercrombie is Taylor from Dinslaken in Germany. I do believe that may be Guido. I'm not sure, but if it is Guido, well done. So that you get the Trumpeter Abercrombie. Right, and the second prize from UMP is the burnishing liquid and PE placer, and the winner of that is Ian 1956 from the Netherlands. Well done, Ian. If both of you guys can let me PM me your name and address on the ISM website, we'll get these prizes out to you ASAP. Well done, guys. Just to let you know that this month's prizes are, obviously the thread's already up on the forum, this month's prizes are from E-Models, the new Bronco 135th Versachflakwagen for 8.8 cm flak 37 Alf Sonderfahrgaststall. I'm glad I've had a drink. Let me just do that. Versachflakwagen for 8.8 cm flak 37 Alf Sonderfahrgaststall. Cheers. Or in brackets PZSFL IVT. I'm glad I'm not drunk. Anyway, so those are the two prizes, and obviously the UMP burnishing liquid and PE placer for the second prize as well. So get your names down on the competition thread on the website to have a chance of winning those. And I think now we're going to go over to the review that I've done on the TRN1 Iwata Trigger Airbrush. Handy bit of kit this. Here we go. Welcome back to International Scale Modeler. I'm Lee. Today we're going to do a review of the Neo for Iwata TRN1 Trigger Airbrush. Now, you may remember not so long ago I did a review of the TRN2. Now, quick recap on this one. This was, as you can see, a big airbrush. It came with a 0.5 needle, 0.45 needle. All these massive cups of 30mm, 15mm and a 20 odd mil cups. So 50mm on that one, sorry. And while it was a good airbrush, it's really, I would say, not a modeller's airbrush. I would say this is more for large scale painting and things like that. I mean, just the size of the cups and everything give that away in itself. But overall, very good airbrush. It behaved exceptionally well as well, especially for the money. So I thought it'd be good to grab one of these now. Now this is the TRN1. Now this is what I am looking to do with an airbrush. I want an airbrush that's purely for base coats. And because a lot of the base coats now are starting to be a bit thicker than you get normally, So you want a slightly larger needle. This comes with a 0.35 needle, which is ideal for me for base coats and everything like that. I want to start using, I use Vallejo, believe it or not, I use the surface primer quite a bit. I like it, a lot of people don't. The AK stuff's quite thin, but there's the Badger Stynel res, which we're hoping to sell soon as well, which is a lot thicker, which you need a 0.3 or plus needle to get on with that. So what we're going to do, we're going to have a quick look at this, we'll have a quick unboxing of it, and then we'll see what we can see in action. So let's get into it. Okay, so we've got, I'm going to take this one away because we've already done a review on this. If you want to have a look at what this one behaves like, then I think the review is probably about 6 or 7 months ago, so have a look on there for that. So we're just going to take that away. As far as comparison goes, I think they're pretty much the same airbrush, just needle and nozzle sizes and things like that, which are different. So if we have a look at the box here, we've got, as you can see, we've got the typical neo green box and everything, and it's a solid box, comes in a very solid box, and with a bit of info on the back and everything about what you can use it for. I think we all know what we can use it for. You've then got inside, you've got this hard stuff which you can take out. Let's just take these out. We've got the instructions underneath. Having a look, nothing else on the back. Good, keep this for modelling if you're gonna, you know, not use it to store your airbrush in. So we've got a quick start guide on here, just basically how to use a gravity airbrush and, you know, things like that, and basically how to get air and paint. You know, it's a dual action even though it's a trigger one. So let's have a look at the airbrush itself. Now, first impressions are, it's the same as the other one, the TRN2. It's a lovely weight, and they really do sit in the hand quite well. I've got to say they're very comfy to use, which is why I want to use it for base coats, because I really want to get a nice flow as I go get the base coats down, because it's probably the most important layer of paint on your model is the base coat. What else we've got in there? We've got obviously a little looks like a little 5mm or 3mm cup, sorry. We've got a spanner obviously, which is going to be for adjusting the cleaning the tip and things like that. So we're going to pop those back in. I'm probably not going to use the 3mm cup. It's nice to have it, but I'm not going to use it. I should be using this with the large cup. Nice it comes with a cap. The little one doesn't come with a cap, I don't think it needs it. And obviously you can unscrew this as well, like so. Got the seals on here. They're not, I think they're rubber seals, so they might not be cellulose proof. So it might be worth checking that out on the website themselves, but I'm pretty sure that they're just normal seals, not cellulose proof ones. So let's get this out of the way so you can have a proper look. Okay. So there you go, there's the airbrush, very nice. You've got control on the back there for your trigger. As you can see, if I turn this, the trigger goes forward. If I turn it, you can bring the trigger back. Now what this does is this stops you over spraying. But you think, well, okay, that's the level of spray I want. When you test it and set it down, you think, right, okay, I'm going to set that to there so that I can't overspray it. It will never go that far. So always a nice addition on an airbrush, this, because I actually do use it, even though you should be good in your control with a Trigger airbrush and you're doing large areas. It's nice to have that, to know you're not going to have a big splurge of paint suddenly appear on your model. Now, as far other ways taking it apart, if we just take this, you can see this just unscrews off the back here. And then you've got the normal setup. Just undo that and out pop your needle there. As you can see, it's quite a large needle, so 0.35 in here, I do believe. Now the setup, cleaning an airbrush like this is the same as any other. You can undo this, and inside there's a mechanism to clean if you get paint back up in the airbrush. As you can see here, a lot of Trigger airbrushes do get paint residue build up in there, so it's handy to be able to get into there and clean that. Now this is slightly different to other Trigger airbrushes that I've had. In fact, there's something in there. Usually that hole is completely empty, and you can get a cotton swab in there and everything, but not on this one. So let's take the needle guard off now. The needle's out. Okay, so there you go. So you don't have to use the needle guard. If you're really good at spraying, you're not worried about dinging the needles, you don't have to use that at all. It is purely just a guard for the needle. It's not anything else whatsoever. And then obviously you've got the next step. Again, you're just taking the housing off, and there you've got the nozzle sat in there. So it's nice and new. It looks very nice indeed. Okay, so you've got to bring your spanner over your nozzle spanner, and it literally is, undo that, 1 or 2 twirls, and off you pop. And you can see you've got a seal on there as well, a little tiny seal. You can buy all these spare seals and everything from any Iwata dealer. So this means you can get into there, clean all the inside there. You take the cup off as well, and you've got a pretty clean way to flow and back and everything. The only thing I'd like to look at is further, which I can't do now because of time and everything, but I'd have a look at trying to take this out. But this may be a new feature, maybe stopping all this crap that gets up here on the trigger airbrush. But these are easy to, again, you can really take these apart quite considerably. You undo this nut here, you can take the handle off, you undo this screw here, the trigger comes off, and then everything just comes apart naturally. Well, one thing I can always suggest with regards to whenever you get an airbrush, don't be scared to take it apart. Learn how it works. Once you learn how it works, it's so much easier to overcome any problems that you have, or cleaning, anything like that. Take it. I've always taken apart airbrushes 1 or 2 times before I start using them, just so I know how they work. Right, now do this up obviously with the spanner very gently until you just feel it bite, and then you just give it a tiny little thing, not too much, because you can thread these very easily, and you certainly don't want to do that because that is a real pain to sort out. So you can put the cup back on. You know, everything only has to be finger tight on these, okay? You don't have to screw them so that you can never get them off again. It's a bit like mechanical stuff. You never do it too tight, so finger tight's enough. You don't need to overdo these. And put the guard back on as well, and then you're all set. So we'll pop the needle back in. I always use my finger as a guide, all the way through, nice and easy. You can see it pop out the end. I always just give it a little tap, like so. Do it up. Everything's all done up nicely. And then pop the housing back on. Job done. Okay. What I'm going to do is I'm going to pull this right back. So we've got maximum spray. There you go. Okay, so we're right there. And as you can see, trigger action is nice and smooth. Okay, there's a little bit of play before it bites. It'll be interesting to see what that's like, because on the other one, that would the feedback on the TRN2, this one on the trigger was absolutely fantastic. I have to say, this one is really smooth, really nice indeed. So I'm hoping that this is going to be the same. Now what I haven't done is I haven't given it a good going over with some super lube or anything like that, which you should do before you start using an airbrush. I have my little, hang on, let me grab this for you, my little airbrush kit here. And then here I've got everything that I need to clean my airbrush and everything. Always buy some of this super lube. I think I got this years ago. I mean, that will last donkey's years. It's only a tiny little thing, about 15 mil. But that will last donkey's years. Literally just touch it on all your joints. When you take it apart, on all the screw parts inside, every little bit that's got thread and things like that, even up here and the needles. Always do it with that, and it just makes everything work that much better. It really does give it an even feel to the airbrush. But anyway, so that's the airbrush. So far I'm impressed. I love these Iwata ones, how they sit in the hand. I really do, because especially for spraying for any length of time, you can see how that sits in the hand there like that. You see, very natural. And if you're spraying for any length of time, let's say you're doing a big 132 or a big, you know, 1350 ship or whatever, you're constantly pressing down it, and it really does. After a while, your knuckle does start to ache a bit. But this makes it ever so easy. It's just a natural, you know, movement. And this is what I've got. I've got a couple of ships and a couple of big phantoms that I've got to do and things like that. So this is what I wanted to try this out for. So I think what we'll do now is I'll hook this up. I've just got to put a quick connect adapter on the end here. We'll hook this up and give it a spray and see how we do. Right, okay, so we've got this all hooked up now onto the compressor and everything, as you can see. I haven't used it yet whatsoever, so this is a proper virgin testing. I haven't even tried to use this whatsoever. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start with some grey primer, because this is very fine, this primer from AK. So I want to make sure that this sprays this okay. Then I'm going to move on to the Vallejo surface primer, which is much thicker. It's a polyurethane primer, just like the style res from Badger, which is something that I'll be using on Paul's Proviso in future. So what I'm going to do, I'm not going to put a lot in there, I'm just going to put a little bit in there, just so we can get an idea. I've given it a good shake already. Okay. And there we go, it's come out there. Okay, so I'm going to turn the fan on, alright. So let's see if we can get some nice pictures and shapes and everything. First thing I notice is you can get some absolutely fantastic lines. Don't forget this hasn't been thinned. This is at 25 psi. If you have a look there, you can see some absolutely fantastically fine lines. I'm sorry, my overhead camera rod's broken, so I can't do the overhead one, but you see some fantastic lines there. So you get really nice, you've got pure air, and there's a biting point here. There you go, nothing comes out whatsoever. I'll just turn this off for a bit, a second. So you've got a biting point here, right there, and nothing but air comes out there. So it's good because you know you've got that biting point. You know that you're not, if you don't go past that, you're not going to release any paint. And it's good for drying after you've sprayed and everything like that, which I think we all do. But as you can see from just from those few lines there, you can get some very fine work done, and that was my first go. So and you can see how it sprays nice and wide. I'm going to do a big section now just to see how it comes up. Just fill in this. You can pull right back, hit the power, and get a really nice coverage. You see how it's not going down too thick? That's a really nice coverage. I've got to say, I like that. Let me just squeeze out the rest of that. There you go. So very nice indeed. Really nice coverage that. I know it's hard to tell on towel, but I think I've been doing it long enough now that I know what it's going to come out like. So let me give the cup a quick clean. Okay, obviously the best cleaner in the world at the moment, or ever. And we're just going to give that a quick. Now the good thing is, because the cup itself is a full closed cup, you can actually do the blowback on it. There you go. So that's nice, because there's nothing worse than having those nozzle covers where they are just literally all holy and patchy and things like that. So. One more spray through. Right. And then a quick one with thinner, just to make sure you've got no cleaner residue in there. Okay, that looks good. Nice and clean, nice and easy to clean. Any problems with that whatsoever? Okay, so now we've done the AK, so we know that it sprays some nice thin primer very well, and that's pretty much the same consistency as most of the paint out there that you would lay down, like a Taka or AK or, you know, Tamiya guns, the lot. So you can get some nice fine lines with it. I do like the control. I do like the control of a trigger brush. You do get some nice control off it. And it's especially good for hand-fisted modelers like myself as well, who can overspray and things like that. They're very, very natural control, especially for the Americans who like the guns, you know, got a nice trigger action. So we're going to try a bit of the polyurethane Vallejo surface primer now. So we're just going to pop a little bit of this in there. Okay, we don't have to do extensive painting. Managed to get a ton of it on my finger. Right, okay, so we've got that in there now. Let's just get another bit of towel. I love the smell of this stuff. I do like the smell of the Vallejo, I must admit. It smells completely different to anything else. So anyway, so we're back up to 25 psi again. Pop the fan on and we'll see how we do. And as you can see, sprays nicely. Give it a bit more welly. You think this is what I've primarily bought this brush for. And it comes out really nice, but you can still get fine work. Now the Vallejo stuff is hard to get fine lines with because it's not made for that at all. It is purely a very thick primer, but as you can see, no problem there going down. Got a nice coverage all the way. Fantastic. Very nice airbrush indeed. Yep, I like that. So straight away, it's a thumbs up for me after using it with the two main thinners primers that I use. What I am going to try it with very soon, as you can see, it's very easy to empty because of the large nozzle size. We're going to have another quick clean up. Very nice indeed. Now this stuff you should clean up straight away because it will leave a residue in your cup or anything like that. It doesn't dry too particularly well in airbrushes. You have to clean it out nice. I always give it 3 little blasts with the thinner, obviously, with the cleaner, sorry, and then once it's all cleaned out, little swish round and then I go through with the thinner so you don't leave any cleaner residue in your airbrush cup, because if you do, you're going to contaminate your paint with the cleaner. So there you go. I need to turn that off for you, sorry. That's all come up very, very nicely, as you can see. Okay, nothing in there. No unusual crap around the residue around the needle housing or anything like that on the guard. So I really like that. I think that's going to be fantastic for laying down primers and everything. So we'll go back now, we'll do the final thoughts. Right then, so okay, final thoughts for the Iwata TRN1. I really like it. I think it's a cracking little airbrush, as you can see. It's very nice, it's a lovely weight. I'm a fan of airbrushes that weigh a bit, so you can actually feel like you've got something in your hand. Some of these cheap, airbrushes that you get don't really feel like you've got a proper bit of kit in your hand. I actually like it like this. So, but as you can see, very nicely moulded. The grip's lovely. It fits perfectly. I've got large hands, not medium or not extra large, but large. I always go large size glove and things like that. So, and that fits really nicely, and I can't see any problems whatsoever with working with that for quite a time. It's well presented in its box, obviously. I'd like to thank Martin at aircraft.net for supplying this for a test and a review and everything. Great service over there as well from those guys. But for me, I would like to say this is a total recommend. I'm going to enjoy using this for my base coats. If you're like me and Paul, we like a specific tool for a specific job. And now I've got this for my primers. I've got an airbrush for gloss coat. I've got an airbrush for alclads or cellulose based paints, and I've got my H&S Infinity for painting normal acrylic paint. So I've now got my full stable of 4 airbrushes that I want to use for all the different aspects of modelling. So, and it just makes it easier because you don't have to worry about if you left some cellulose in there or if you're going to put acrylic in there afterwards and such. It stops contamination anyway. But it's a nice bit of kit. I think for the money it's well worth it. You know, some of these other brands that you have trigger feed brushes, they're £200–300, you know, quite a lot. I think for the money it's very nice indeed. So I reckon for me, I reckon it's a good 9 out of 10 for that. So so yeah, so that is the Iwata, Neo for Iwata should I say, TRN1 Trigger Airbrush. Recommend for me. Until next time, take care, bye bye. There you go. As you can see, I prefer that, much prefer that one to the TRN2. I think the TRN2 is more of a it's a blastic gun. It's for people that are painting large areas and maybe not such fine detail and things like that. But the TRN1 with the smaller needle and everything and the smaller cup is much better for me. I'm going to use that purely to lay down base coats. That's going to be my primer gun of choice, just because you get some nice control. Whereas the trigger airbrush, you get some great control on it for laying down large areas. So that's a recommend from me. I think now we're going to quickly go over and have a look at what's on my bench. Right, okay, my bench. Not a lot on it this month. Very, 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 very small update. Obviously, we've got the Tiger tank, which is progressing very slowly. We've basically got up to the point where I finally got some drill bits through, and obviously I've used some burnishing liquid just to do the tracks, as you can see here. And they've come up really, really nice. Just got a little bit of weathering just to add to them, just to make them, finish them off and make them look really, really nice. But apart from that, as far as the Tiger goes, that's pretty much it. I think next I shall drill out all those tracks and everything, get them ready, and then I've got to just put on the brackets for the tracks on the turret. There's a few places here on either side, and also I've got to do the green camo on there as well, which is, I can't see it at the moment, I don't know if, just how it is, which will be this one here. So just some nice green stripes and everything. That's going to take about 10 minutes, I would imagine, and then I shall give it a gloss coat, put on some, put on the few decals there are to put on, another gloss coat, and then we're all set for weathering. Then I'm going to take my time doing this, and hopefully it'll come out really nice. And yeah, so I'm looking forward to that. It's getting a little bit each month, a little bit better each month. The only other thing I've done this month is I did this. Now I think a few of you probably saw this in the last news show where I just done something. This was in between doing some of the oh yeah, I forgot about that actually. I'll do this first because it's already here. But this is Pegasus Models Lunar Model, 1350 Lunar Model. If we go to the overhead, you can just see that it's basically just a rocket, and it didn't come with any decals or anything like that, decals, decals. So what I did is I had an old Burkut, issue 37 Burkut, an old Hobby Boss one that had some decals on it, which I thought would pretty much go on here. So as you can see, I've added some decals to give it something, you know, because otherwise it was a bit boring. And I've got this base from AK, which was, I don't know, God, I think it was about €3 or €4, something like that. Very easily done. You can make these yourself, but I had a big order with them anyway, and it sits on the base like so. And that'll go in the display cabinet, so quite a nice little one. I've got a little space area building up in there, so I think that looks okay. And as I say, it was just purely and simply just in between doing other things, and it was nice and simple, wasn't complicated, and didn't take long at all. And the Alclad's come out really nice on it as well. So I've got another one of these, like a Cosmos Strata it's called, and it's a bit bigger, but very similar sort of thing. So I might do that in between some other builds and everything. The only other thing of note that I've got to say is obviously I've got the Tarangus on the go at the moment. Now this has got to the point where I've got to start gluing it together. Got a few odds and sods to do. I've got to paint the seats up, as you can see from here. Okay, there I've put the base coat of aluminium down on the seats, and then it's just got to be painted and all that lot. Started doing photo etch here and there, like as you can see, let's get this box out of the way. You can see here a bit of photo etching in the rear burners there, and on the back of that you have somewhere, there's the rear end of that, it's around somewhere, but there's more photo etch that sits on the back of that, on the back plate as well. So but that's going to look nice once it's done. That's all got to be sprayed up next. I've put some of the cockpit, zoom in a bit, as you can see some of the PE in the cockpit, and that's just started to go down. It looks really nice, and there's, what I like about it, there's several layers to it as well, so it builds up into like a nice size, as you can see from this one here as well. Okay, and then I've got some more. I've done the actual dashboards themselves, they're all done and ready as well. As you can see, what I have got to do though is I've done a quick little test fit. They're very good. These are far too thick now with the PE on, so I've got to take these down by a good probably 0.5 millimetre, this depth of the plastic here, otherwise it's not going to sit right. So I've got to work on that as well, and that's basically it. The intakes are dead smooth now, they're ready, they're all done. They took a lot more work than I thought that would need. As you can see, lots of bits of filler in very awkward places, but luckily the UMP sanders came to the rescue on that one. So that'll be nice. So they've got to be painted up and glued in position. I've done a test fit of how everything sits in the back here, and I think I did say on the forum that if you have a look on here on the instruction manual, this is quite a big error actually. It says here, let's zoom you out a bit so you can see a bit better. It says here, when you fit this into the rear, you've got this noggin here and this, well, this noggin here and this little bit that you can attach this to. So it just slides in like so. Okay, but on inspection of the vet, there is absolutely nothing there. These are sprue gate holders. EPMs basically, which I've got to take down. I've got to take these off, but there is no noggin, no fixing point, no nothing in there. So as you can see, it literally has nothing to fix to whatsoever. So real pain in the bum. Now I've seen someone else do this online. I had to look at someone else's thread of this, and they got some plastic card and made noggins and everything, which I'm going to have to do as well, which is taking, you know, it takes up a lot of time and resources. I mean, it's something that alone will take hours to do, and you know, I could have the fuselage halves together and everything by then. So it really is a challenge, this kit, and I have to say that I would not recommend it to anyone without some experience in modelling, because it will test your patience. I'm really enjoying it. I've got to say, it's been ages since I've done a kit where I've had to call on pretty much all your skills just to get it to a standard where you're happy with it yourself. So, but that's it for the time being. I think that is my bench. Hopefully we'll have some more tomorrow. Until so back to the show. Right, there you go. Not so much on my bench. I did have a finish though. It's a little finish, but so a finish is a finish. So that's going to go in the cabinet. It's not a bad little model, but it really is just a few hour jobby. Now we're going to have a look at Paul's bench. Obviously he's been prolific as per always, so over to Paul.
Thanks Lee. So welcome to my section of the news show. What have we got today? We've got build updates, which we'll get to in a minute. Got one completed, 2 in progress, 1 started, and a few stalled, which I'll get to in a second as well. We got no GBs started this month, I don't think. No, 1st of May. No, nothing. The next one up is the 1st of July, and that's the I-Spy SiG. I will be in that. That's for anything that's like reconnaissance or spy, so you can have, you know, an artillery recon tank or observation vehicle, anything like spy plane. I'm going to do the Airfix, Airfix again, 148 PR Spitfire. Bought it a while back. Funnily enough, Andreas just made it, and Andreas did a great job. I sound like Arkwright then, good Granville. Andreas did a great job. Hopefully I can do as well as Andreas did, and I'm looking forward to that one. Bought the special PRU blue from Extra Acrylics for it, so that'll be nice. There's nothing else starting, I don't think, no. So yeah, just the ISM SiG started at the end of the month. Build wise, this coming weekend, whether this will be up before, I don't know. Stroke of midnight tonight's Thursday. So Friday through to Saturday midnight, Jim Baldwin is hosting a 48-hour build to commemorate D-Day. So it's any vehicle or any subject that was there at D-Day, figures, tanks, aircraft, etc. Anything that was there involved in D-Day directly, all the events after it, you can then build. And the idea is to get it done in 48 hours. So I've picked, and I'll grab it to show you very quickly. I've got Italiris, which is actually a Hasegawa reboxing, Typhoon Mark 1B late. So this is a Hasegawa kit. You can get for a bargain price, about 20 odd quid. I think the Hasegawa kit's over 30 quid. Nice kit, nice simple kit, which is what I was looking for. And I've added a few aftermarket exhaust wheels, just a few little bits and bobs to spice it up a little bit. So stroke of midnight tonight, I will start building that. There'll be a live hangout from the moment I start. It will only stop when I break for, you know, a bit of food, drink and sleep. So I'll put them all on my channel. They'll be labelled D-Day build. So if this doesn't go up before it starts, you can go back to my channel, Paul at ISM. So it's literally Paul @ ISM. And you can look at the full video build on there. There'll be a few hours worth over the 2 days. There's myself, Michael Campbell, Cohen. We've got John Bellows, Hendrick, Rich is taking part, and there's a few others as well, I think. I can't think of anybody else off the top of my head. I think Bill's going to take part, but I don't know of anybody else that's going to be in the hangouts with us. But the links will go up, they go on Facebook, and I'll put them on the forum, so if you want to watch, you can watch. And if you want to join in, PM me on Facebook and let me know, and I'll send you the link to join. But if this doesn't go up before that, because new show is a little bit late again, go back through my channel and they'll be recorded, they're uploaded, so you can watch it back. So there's that. On the 27th of this month, the Hangout regulars, the Pricks of Plastic, will be doing another speed build, and I'm just grabbing it as you know, crinkling. Last time we did a ship, 1200 scale ship, or 11200 if you're German, Hendrik. We did 1 to 1200 scale ship. It was alright, it wasn't the best one. Before that we did a metal earth one. This time we picked starter kits. So anything like that, starter kit with a couple of pots of paint, a bit of glue and a brush. Any scale you want. I chose a 1/144th F14 Tomcat. And you've got to use everything in that box to build it. You use other, you know, sprue cutters and files and what have you, but if you're going to paint it, you can only use the paint in the box, you can only use the brush to paint it, and you can only use that glue. So we've all got one of these. It's a full hangout, so don't ask to join because it's already full. There's 10 of us already. That is on the 27th, which is a Saturday. It'll start 8:30, 9 o'clock UK time, depending on when they can all get in. I'm there from 7:30, but with a few latecomers. Again, it'll go live and you can watch it. There'll be no link to join because we are full. There's 10 people in it. And that's it, but again, should be fun. So with the 48-hour build coming up, which I can't wait to start that, absolutely looking forward to that. And the 2-hour one at the end of the month, that's me set for those little builds. All my other builds are on the go. Buying of the kits has continued immensely. Oh my god, I need to stop, it's getting ridiculous. And that's it, so not much more to update on really. Video builds are ongoing, the Kraz and the Vigan, as you'll see in a minute. They've made, the Vigan's made huge progress in one part, absolutely brilliant kit. A few little issues to sort out, a couple of spots that need filling. The Kraz is fully primed. Can't remember if I showed primed. No, I don't think I did. I don't think I showed it primed. I've already filmed my build update before I did this. And I think I showed it in bare plastic, but it's actually primed now, ready for paint, because the video's been ongoing. So they'll be up, the Kraz video will be up in about a week or so, hopefully. And a Vigan one the week after, shortly. Well, we'll get focusing on the PE on the Vigan and get that going as well. So there you go, so not much else to report really. Same old, beautiful day today. I know Lee's going to have fantastic weather, sat by his pool. I haven't got a swimming pool. I've got a nice decked garden. Maybe I can take you out there one day and we can sit out there. It's just been done actually. But it's 20 degrees today. It's a comfortable weather for me. The door's open, the window's open, and it's a lovely day. So there we go. That's enough prattling on by me. That one's for Mike. There you go, Mike. We'll head over to the workbench and we'll have a look at my current build. Okay, so we're over at the bench. Go quickly through my works in progress, current builds, to the video builds and made progress. Here's one, can't move it, I'll explain why in a second. The Vigans made good progress. I've got one completed and one started, not far off completed as well. So quite a bit done this month, which is great. The Kraz is now fully assembled. There's a few bits and bobs still to attach to it. There's a few bits of PE, there's mud flaps underneath that are just going to break off if I even breathe on them funny. So they've been left off for now. This is how it is now. It's ready for its next video, part 2, which I'm going to film immediately after filming this, because I've got it all set up. It's been built in sub-assemblies, which is what part 2 is about, preparing for paint, prime, and we're going to prime, etc. So as you can see, I've put it together. It kind of looks like a bit of a clown's car. If you look at the overhead shot, you can see all the wheels are a bit wobbly. I keep half expecting Coco the Clown to jump out and start throwing buckets of glitter everywhere, but it is literally bounced. If I knock that, the whole thing will fall to bits. So as you can see, it's over 12 inches long. It's quite an impressively large vehicle. It's not the simplest of kits to build. If you're a beginner, steer clear. This thing will kick your ass. It's very high part count. Every single section, fuel tanks, air tanks, they're all 4 or 5 parts per build, per section, and it's a real in-depth build. I battled through this over 3 nights because I needed to get it built for the next video. So it wasn't an enjoyable build for me because I wasn't building it for the build, I was building it to film. If you were taking more time on it, or you were enjoying it for yourself, I think you'd find it a more enjoyable build. For me, it kicked my ass a little bit because I just needed to get it from the last video, which was the engine assembled and ready for sand and what have you, to the fully built vehicle, because we're not showing the build of the vehicle, we're showing the processes involved. So it did kind of take a little bit of the mojo away, but it's all built. It's about 18 to 20 hours building just to get this far. And like I say, we're in sub-assemblies. Now, I'll show you the sub-assemblies that we've got. If it falls to bits, it falls to bits. So we've got the rear cargo deck, which is one giant assembly ready to go. There's two sets of mud flaps here and here that need to be attached, but they're not going on yet because they'll get ruined. There's no wood texture to the wood, so I'll add that with a razor saw, and we'll go through wood techniques further on down the line of the techniques. You got the chassis, you can see underneath, the wheels, you can see they're all just placed on this thing. Like I say, it's just bounced. The cab, so the cab roof is loose, so we can get to inside. Got a couple of lights on the top. The bonnet is loose again. As you can see, we've got the engine inside. The front bumper is still loose. There we go. The wheels are going to go on it. I can see it. There we go. Coco's off. Front bumper's loose. The whole cab will lift off. The engine has to be kind of forced in position there. There we go. There's all the wheels. But the cab does lift off, and it'll just leave purely the chassis behind. And obviously the wheels and tyres all come off. The spare one's in there, but again it'll come out. And as you can see underneath, all the chassis there, a lot of parts under there, a little bit of PE missing off that still. But once we get through this, we're going to get it primed in the next video, camo painted, bleaching, fading. That's what we'll cover in the next video. We'll cover subsections, priming and painting. I think that's probably the best way to do it. And that's it. But like I say, kick my ass a little bit, I will admit that, purely and simply because I rushed through building it. I really did. If you're building it for yourself, I'm sure you find it much more enjoyable. So there we go. So I'm going to put that back together in a minute for the next video. So that's going to be great. The Vigan is as we have here now. Still needs a little bit of clean up here and there. We can get this nose to go on, which went on easy on the video, and then it won't go back on now. There we go, that'll do. So Vigan's done a little bit of filler here and there, but overall it went together well. This still needs a little bit of attention here. It's not the greatest of fit at all. I've got a bit of a layer of putty in there, so that'll be left to fully cure for a week or so. Make sure the shrinkage is there, and then I'll probably use it with super glue, to be honest, to ensure that there's no mucking about and no more filling needed. But overall general fit, the wing roots, the fuselage seams, very, very nice. Really can't complain at all. It's gone together fantastically. Literally, 2 problem areas was here and here, and that's it. Other than that, fantastic. The cracks need a little bit of filler as well. I'm going to say that on the front wheel arches, nothing major, just a little bit. But the cockpit's still looking well. So we've got a bit of PE work to do in the next video, so I'll run through that. We'll get those seams sorted. We'll test all the seams with some black paint. We'll probably get the canopy on and maybe get it in primer as well. But this thing's gone really well now. From just a cockpit, we've got the whole fuselage built. So that last part got a lot of work done. Absolutely great. Thanks for all the people who told me what these things are. I did listen, but I can hardly hear you. So that's a really bad joke. Canards, I was calling them. Well, I didn't know what they were called, so I didn't call them anything. I think called them horizontal stabilizers at one point, which I guess they are. But thanks for who told me the canards. And there you go, so that's the Vigan. Cracking kit, very, very nice, impressive looking aircraft. It's bigger than I thought it was going to be. It's a good 35 centimeters long, so quite impressive. Quite impressive. Next up, the work in progress is the Tamiya Mosquito. This is for Nigel Wells' Mosquito SiG on ISM on the forum. I think nearly everybody's building the Tamiya kit. There's at least half a dozen entries that I've seen. It's a great kit, goes together well. I added a little bit of aftermarket to mine. I added aftermarket wheels, which are all over here. I'll grab them very quick. So I added some resin wheels, which are weighted, very nice. You added resin seats, which are inside, you can't see them. The pre-cut canopy mask, and that's it now. So these are all the parts, they're all primed. Some are painted, some aren't. Once they're done, they need weathering. The camouflage has been free-handed, as always. I'm not a fan of masking camo. I know these should be hardline, but so far off hardline, even though it's freehand. I spent a couple of hours yesterday doing the paint effects, so fading, bleaching, mottling, to give it that worn look. Clear coated it, which has completely drowned out all the effects for now until we get the matte coat back. And last night we decaled it. Tamiya decals, I think I had 2 rip on me, and look, I had a spare decal sheet which I sent to by Tim. Cheers, Tim. So I had a couple of spare ones. The most troublesome one was this. I had to take that off and replace it, and it's not gone down the neatest, but hey, hard luck. But overall, the rest of them, not many decals on it. They went down pretty flawlessly. So next up for this is another clear coat, which I'll get done today. It can dry overnight, and then we'll give it a dark dirt wash. And then come in, a bit more paint effects, paint everything that needs detail painting, get all the small bits and bobs done, unmask it, and that's another one done. So another great GB or SiG completed. And speaking of that, there's my sorry, not speaking of that, because this wasn't for, this was for me. This is the Airfix Hurricane you see me making last month. I just started it. I think it took a couple of weeks from start to finish to build it, paint it, weather it, and this is a cracking little kit. Very impressed. It's one of Airfix's new tools, and I don't think I can fault it anywhere at all. It came out really well. Every aspect of it wasn't a problem. I seriously can't think of a single fault I had on the kit. It went together fine, minimal filler. It was a very enjoyable build. I will be buying another one of these. I want to make the it's a Sea Harrier then. The Sea Hurricane version. And I love this, absolutely fantastic. We painted this in a mixture of, oh god, a mixture of Acan underneath for the sky. It was Acan Dark Earth and was off, so I had to use a Mr. Hobby colour. I can't remember the colour now, I completely forget. But it was a dark colour, and I think it's quite a good match. And we used Tamiya's dark green as well. RAF colour, and came out well. We bleached it, faded it, chipped it. I went to town a little bit on the chipping, which I don't normally do, to be honest. I'm not a fan of heavily weathered aircraft, but I think this came out quite well. So overall, very impressive, great little kit. You get 2 canopies, one open, one closed, which again is a fantastic touch. And hats off to Airfix. I don't like Airfix, I'm not a fan. The company themselves, I just, like I explained last month, reboxing the old kits, and you really need to stop doing that. Replace them. I know it costs money, and I know they can't do it at once, and I know they're starting to do it if everybody jumps on it. But it's still the fact that they're reboxing old kits. Not a fan of that. Once they stop doing that and they get rid of all those terrible old kits, great, because these new ones are fantastic. That C-Fire was a 1996 kit, fantastic. The canopy wasn't great because it's an older kit. This is brand spanking new, it's fantastic. I will be buying another one. I've bought the newest C-Fire, the Lancaster, the Spitfire Mark 12. That might be it. I bought a few more. I've bought a few Airfix in the past few weeks. Really impressed with these new tools. I've built them before, I'm not new to them. I've built the 109 about, oh god, 8 times now. A few other the 172s that are new, and I know they're good. I just don't like the ethics behind the business, but that's just me at the end of the day. But this, very, very happy. One of my favourite kits I've built this year, and I would definitely be having another one. Absolutely lovely, cracking plane, one of my favourite planes. Absolutely superb. So there you go. There's all my builds. I don't think I've built... Oh, yes, sorry. I have built something else. I built this the other day as a tribute to Airfix. There you go. That's what happens when you use Humble Clear Coat. Sorry, Humble Clear on your canopy. I had a funny reaction. Not sure what happened, to be honest, but I put it on, dipped it, and all this crap appeared. No idea. He's got the flying arrows, so they'll come in handy. No, I didn't muck it about. We see that many questions about, can I use, I don't know, dog's fleece shampoo on my canopy, and what was on today, can I use medical tape to mask? Just buy some Tamiya tape, it's not expensive, it lasts for ages, for Christ's sake. But the common one is Humble Clear, and I see that many problems by this stuff. I wouldn't use it if you paid me, and every time I see somebody using it I think, oh no. And a lot of people say, oh, it's a user's fault, but even if it is, why have a product when you can buy Aquagloss and have no problems whatsoever, and even use Johnson's Clear and no problems. Humble Clear, I wouldn't even use it as drain cleaner. So this was my joke about what happens if you use Humble Clear on your canopies, and yeah, it went down well on a few of the Facebook pages. We had a laugh. I was bored one night and spent half an hour building this. Yep, I know, crazy and too much time, but hey, it's a little bit of fun. But there you go. So there's all my builds, my little update, and that's it. So I'll take you back to Lee, and I'll see you around.
Right, well, there you go. Thanks a lot, Paul. As you can see, he's got a lot going on. He's a busy lad in his man cave. And some cracking results there, some fantastic finishes, and some brilliant models on the go. I can't wait to see that Kraz built up. I really am looking forward to that. We've got to come to the end of the show now. I've got to say goodbye because I am absolutely melting. This beer has gone warm at the time of taking me to film this. So, but anyway, cheers. I'm just going to say a big thank you to our sponsors, obviously eModels for sponsoring our monthly free prize draws, Models Our Go for sponsoring all our GBs, to UMP ourselves for sponsoring wherever we can and chucking in free prize draws, and to S&M Stuff for sponsoring all our SiGs. I hope you've enjoyed the new show. It's not as big as it normally is, but it is reasonably on time this month. So all I can say is cheers everyone, have a great time, and until next time, take care, bye bye.